Thanks for joining us for CBN News Today. I'm Ephraim Graham. Egyptian officials say more than 500 people are dead after the military moved to disperse protesters Wednesday. The army stormed 2 large sit-ins by Muslim Brotherhood who were protesting the ouster of former President Mohamed Morsi. Now reports are surfacing the Brotherhood is targeting Christians in the backlash. Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell reports now from Jerusalem.
More than 300 protesters were killed and thousands wounded when the military cleared the 2 protest camps of the Muslim Brotherhood in Cairo. More than 40 police died during the fighting. While many nations, including the U.S., condemned the violence, Egyptian authorities said they couldn't allow the anarchy to continue within their own capital. Some Egyptian media also reported the Muslim Brotherhood used the camps as mini terrorist bases to torture and murder collaborators and rape women. Despite the military crackdown, the Muslim Brotherhood called for more demonstrations.
Anyone who thinks the Muslim Brotherhood is just going to go quietly here, just go away and accept military rule, does not understand the Brotherhood, does not understand their ideology, does not understand their history.
CBN News terrorism analyst Eric Steckelbeck and author of The Brotherhood, America's Next Great Enemy, warns the end is not in sight.
This is a group that is steeped in violence, in jihad. They're the original modern Islamic terrorist group. I predict and I fear that the Brotherhood will declare a jihad against the Egyptian military. Things will get bloodier and a whole lot more nasty before they get better.
During and after the crackdown, things got much worse for Egypt's Christians. The Muslim Brotherhood and their supporters attacked dozens of churches, Christian businesses, and individuals. The Muslim Brotherhood blames Egypt's Christians for supporting the ouster of Mohamed Morsi. Their retaliation is putting Egypt's Christian minority at great risk. They're asking Christians worldwide to pray for their protection. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
And CBN's chief international correspondent Gary Lane joins us now with more on this. Gary, do we know that the Muslim Brotherhood is behind these attacks?
Well, yes, we do, because some of them have been heard in Cairo saying, if you see a Christian, kill them. Mm-hmm. And then the Al-Noor Party, which is the conservative Salafi party, these are the most conservative Islamists in Cairo, are urging the Brotherhood not to attack churches. They're saying stop doing that. Mm-hmm. So yes, we do know it's the Brotherhood.
So in all this, why are they attacking churches? Well,
they're attacking churches because the Christians are a minority, and traditionally Christians do not fight back. We've been taught to love our enemies, so they're a likely target, and they blame the Christians for the ouster of Morsi, even though it was military and secularists and a lot of people, millions in Egypt that were responsible. So they blame the Christians for that. But it's not just the churches that are being attacked. We have some video of that. Mm-hmm. We want to show you Bible bookstores in Cairo, Asyut. There was a school, many schools that have been burned and attacked, and also there have been other institutions, Christian institutions like the YMCA in Minya.
Unbelievable images there. Is the government doing anything to protect the churches and these groups?
Not really. The government, the military, is committed to protecting the state institutions, the government buildings and government leaders, making sure the government still operates. So basically the Christians are on their own. Now, the governors of these provinces now in Egypt are all military people. Mm-hmm. They were appointed recently. And so it's up to them to kind of coordinate the police and so forth. In some cases, the police come and protect them, but we've heard of cases where Muslims have been joining Christians in defending their churches.
Wow. So how are Christians responding to this, as you said? Are they hiding?
Many of them are staying inside. Their businesses are closed because their businesses are being marked with red X's. We've shown you that before, marked by the Muslims saying this is a Christian business. So many are staying inside. And even the Pope, the Coptic Pope, Tawadros, is lying low. He's been in hiding. He says he will not hold Mass at the church this weekend.
Well, we know you've covered the area extensively. What do you think the future holds for Christians in Egypt?
More attacks like this. And I think if there's an insurgency, as Eric Stackelbeck said, is fully expected, there'll be more attacks on churches. So we need to be in prayer for them.
Do you think there'll be some more war?
Well, I mean, it could be similar to what we've seen in Algeria, where many attacks against state institutions and the military and so forth. I don't know if it'll be all-out bloodshed from, Egyptian against Egyptian, but we'll have to wait and see. And let's pray that doesn't happen.
Naturally, lots of folks watching. What do you encourage them to do here?
Well, I encourage them, we need to pray. We need to pray for our brothers and sisters in Christ in Egypt. This is a very difficult time for them, unprecedented in modern history in Egypt, this type of massive attack against Christians, their institutions, churches.
I tell you, thank
Be
you.
in prayer.
Indeed,
Yes.
indeed.
And support them too.
Absolutely.
Many groups that are helping them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gary. Well, the White House and the world have condemned the deadly crackdown in Egypt. Leaders from Britain, Italy, Iran, and many other countries have called the unfolding situation a nightmare. The European Union has called for Egypt's security forces to exercise utmost restraint. The United Nations Secretary General denounced the violence, and Secretary of State John Kerry said the situation has dealt, quote, a serious blow to reconciliation efforts between the interim government and Morsi's supporters.
This is a pivotal moment for all Egyptians. The path towards violence leads only to greater instability, economic disaster, and suffering.
Egypt's civilian interim vice president also called for peace and resigned, saying he cannot bear the responsibility for the bloodshed. There is growing evidence of a Muslim Brotherhood connection in the attack on the U.S. Embassy in Benghazi. CBN News contributor Raymond Ibrahim reports exclusively on the details in his latest blog. He writes of warnings about the September 11, 2012 attacks, and even Egyptians recognizing the links. Ibrahim writes, the Egyptians believe the U.S. government is fully aware and, quote, desperately pushing for the release of Brotherhood leadership, lest when they are tried in Egypt's courts, all these scandals become common knowledge. Now, you can find the full story on Raymond Ibrahim's blog, Ibrahim Islam Unveiled. It's at cbnnews.com. Al-Qaeda is getting more and more sophisticated, planning terror attacks with encrypted internet message boards. They also use special software to disguise their activities on chat rooms. U.S. officials say that's where they found the recent plot that closed down 19 U.S. diplomatic posts across the Muslim world. Still, it is unlikely that top Al-Qaeda leaders like Ayman al-Zawahiri have gone digital or even used phones. Al-Qaeda leaders are still using low-tech methods to get their messages to tech-savvy foot soldiers. That means all the NSA's digital surveillance isn't likely to track them down. Well, you've been hearing for months that your health insurance premiums could be going up thanks to Obamacare. One major insurance provider is trying to educate the public about the reality coming this fall. However, supporters of the Affordable Care Act say that it's just scare tactics. CBN's Lori Johnson explains.
Blue Cross Blue Shield in North Carolina is taking a hands-on approach to educating the public about health care reform.
There's no dumb questions when it comes to health care reform, so we're there for you, and we want to help you understand how it impacts you, because it does impact everybody differently.
The insurance giant is taking their education campaign across the state. It's set up 5 offices throughout North Carolina to handle the mad rush the company expects in October. That's when the Affordable Care Act goes into effect. A short video is part of the education process. It teaches viewers about things they may not know about Obamacare, namely the hit their wallets could take.
Due to the impacts of the ACA, about half of our customers could see their premiums increase by 50% or more before federal subsidies.
Supporters of the ACA say the Blue Cross video is old-fashioned fear-mongering.
They want to say, don't blame us and don't impose new taxes on us. But on the other hand, they do want people to enroll in their plan.
Linker says the video goes further in its speculation, claiming younger, healthier Americans would more likely pay the tax because it's cheaper, and the cost of pre-existing conditions will be passed on to other consumers. He says in reality, the insurance companies want to see the law changed, especially the $100 billion in new taxes on them over the next 10 years to help fund Obamacare. Ashley Smart with Blue Cross Blue Shield sees it differently.
It's complicated, and we want to help consumers understand what's in the law and how it impacts them and their unique situation.
Meanwhile, North Carolina leaders turned down $70 million in federal funding to help educate its residents on the new health care laws. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Meanwhile, the Obama administration has missed as many as 1/3 of the deadlines required in the law, and they've just delayed caps on out-of-pocket insurance costs until 2015. Insurance does not cover 100% of cost, so whatever's left gets passed on to you, the consumer. A coalition of church and ministry leaders are calling for legislation that would end a ban on political endorsements from the pulpit. The chairman of the group says the current law stifles the speech of pastors who fear losing their church's tax-exempt status. Their report specifies that tax-deductible donations during worship services would not be spent on political campaigns. Those opposed to changing the law say there is no need to intertwine religion and politics any further. Officials from Oregon are following up on a complaint a gay couple filed against a Christian-owned bakery. The couple asked the bakery to make their wedding cake, but the owners of Sweet Cakes by Melissa refused on religious grounds. The Bureau of Labor and Industries decided to investigate whether the bakery violated a state law. The 2007 law protects against discrimination of homosexual, bisexual, and transgender people in public accommodations. Exemptions from the law extend to religious organizations, but not to private business owners. Well, coming up, a love story like you've never seen before. A child abandoned by his parents and destined to die. See how this couple rescued baby Adam.
Today we're on a field trip to discover what inflation is doing to our paper money. In this hand is a $20 bill, and in this hand is a $20 US gold coin. They used to have the same buying power, but how much can they buy today? In this first basket is what my $20 bill buys: milk, bread, peanut butter, and jelly. And here's what one $20 gold coin will buy: 6 baskets full, worth nearly $2,000, almost 100 times more food, simply by owning gold dollars instead of paper dollars. History shows that the gold coins have been the best way to beat the rising cost of living. So class, the moral is that unless you want to live on peanut butter and jelly sandwiches in the future, you should turn some paper dollars into gold coins now. How and why is explained in a new book, The Great Debasement. Call the number below for a totally free copy. And that's the simple truth.
If an emergency happened right now, you can have help at the push of a button with Medical Alert.
Remember when I took that fall, Mary?
Oh, yes, that was terrible.
Yes, it was.
Help!
And I thought, what if you hadn't been there? I ordered my Medical Alert the next day.
I can't describe how safe I feel now with my Medical Alert. You didn't know I was wearing it, did you?
Medical Alert is easy to install, waterproof, and covers you inside your home and out.
It helps me feel safe from fires, break-ins.
And of course, a Medical Alert. And if you don't have a home phone, don't worry. They have that covered.
There's always help at the push of a button. Don't wait till you need it.
Get Medical Alert for less than $1 a day. There are no long-term contracts. Order now and get your second button free. Call for your free brochure.
For your free Medical Alert system with second button free, call 800-575-8507.
And welcome back. There are more challenges for a baby who was born severely deformed. Last year, we brought you the story of baby Adam. He was given a second chance thanks to love from total strangers. Lori Johnson now has an update on Adam's progress and the difficulties that lie ahead.
When Adam was born in a Christian missionary hospital in India, his brain, heart, and lungs were healthy. But he was so deformed, his family refused to take him home and even threatened to kill him. So hospital employees Jessica and Rajapal Raj adopted Adam and quickly found Christians in America who helped him, like Dr. John Van Alst, who spearheaded Adam's treatment.
Giving deeply, sacrificially, is one of the greatest godsends that we can have in our lives.
Now, a year and a half later, Adam's doing great. He laughs a lot, learns, crawls everywhere, and has a new brother, Elliot.
When I look back, I remember Romans 8:28, that all things works for good. And I think that's very true for me, Jessica, and Adam, and Elliot.
Despite his progress, Adam cannot eat normally because he was born without the roof of his mouth. For that reason, he cannot talk either, even though he desperately wants to communicate.
When you tell him to say something, though he can't speak words, like formed words right now with his palate being open, so all the air just comes out more loosely and makes sounds rather than form speech.
He needs his palate repaired.
He should be able to speak understandably. The first time he says, Mommy or Daddy, I can just see Jessica and Raja breaking down in tears.
Adam was supposed to have his palate repaired earlier this summer, but there simply wasn't enough money to pay for the surgery, so it was postponed until August 23rd. Since Adam is a citizen of India, he does not have health insurance, and UNC hospitals must charge for their services. So Adam's parents are relying on donations from the public to pay for their son's treatment.
The needed money is $150,000. I think till now we have almost probably like a close to 100.
This may be the last time Adam needs financial help. Next year, he is expected to become a U.S. citizen. That means insurance will likely cover his future treatments, like nasal reconstruction, prosthetic legs so he can walk, and new hands for a tighter grip. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Now for more information on baby Adam and how you can help, you can go to our website, cbnnews.com. Up next, we'll take you to a pro-choice state with a different angle. See how something called real alternatives is saving lives in Pennsylvania.
Attention sleep apnea patients. Are you tired of the expense and hassle of getting your CPAP and BiPAP supplies? Are you fed up with dealing with ill-fitting, leaking, or worn-out masks and straps? Are you worried about the effects that unsanitary tubes, cushions, and filters have on your health? If you said yes to any of these questions, Allied Medical Supply Network has the solution to your problems. You could qualify to have your supplies regularly delivered right to your door at little or no cost to you. That's right, no more inconvenience, no worn-out masks and straps, no more unsanitary equipment, just restful sleep. Call Allied Medical Supply Network today to determine if you may qualify to receive your fresh, brand-name supplies at little or no cost. Don't delay. Call us now to see if you are eligible to save money on regular delivery of your CPAP and BiPAP supplies. Call 1-800-815-9947. That's 1-800-815-9947. Or go to cpapsupplyhelpline.com.
Announcing an important breakthrough in healthcare that can benefit everyone. If you or anyone you love needs affordable health insurance, regardless of a pre-existing medical condition, call Quick Insurance 123 today and get the immediate relief you deserve. Quick Insurance 123 was created to provide affordable health insurance to all uninsured Americans, with or without pre-existing conditions. This is not a discount card. This is a real insurance program that lets you choose from many affordable health plans, with access to doctors, hospitals, emergency services, and more. So call the number on your screen now and get the health coverage you need, just for calling. As a special bonus, we'll send you a free prescription savings card that could save you up to 85% on your prescriptions. That's right, you could save up to 85% on your prescriptions just for calling. Call Quick Insurance 123 to find out how you can get affordable health insurance and receive your free prescription savings card just for calling. Don't wait. Getting a free quote is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Call today.
Welcome back to CBN News Today. Many states are controlled by politicians who support abortion, but Pennsylvania is using its taxpayer dollars to give women another choice, a choice for life. And as Paul Strand reports, it's working.
25 years ago, teenager Noreen Marisic found herself pregnant and at odds with angry parents.
They were trying to force me to have an abortion, and I wasn't going to do that.
Her boyfriend didn't want her to have the baby either. Noreen received no support until she came across the folks at Genesis Center in Pittsburgh. These women gave her a temporary place to live, education so she could support herself, and encouragement that she could be a good mother.
My mom said that I would end up to be nothing, that I'd end up on the welfare.
Even today, Noreen is overwhelmed with how the two older women seen here became the surrogate mothers she desperately needed.
With all the encouragement and love, those two ladies.
With financial support, centers like Genesis can help millions of women such as Noreen say no to abortion. It's not easy, though, when pro-choice politicians and abortion providers like Planned Parenthood join forces against that effort.
Some states are so aligned with the abortion industry, they're trying to shut down pro-life pregnancy centers. Not so here in Pennsylvania.
The state uses taxpayer dollars to help the pro-life alternatives. For 17 years now, the charity Real Alternatives has been directing $5 to $6 million a year to almost 100 pro-life centers across the state. These combined efforts have helped bring Pennsylvania's abortion rate down some 7%. This success has led 14 other states to ask for help in setting up similar programs.
What I say is I'm pro-baby.
One of Real Alternative's biggest backers, Governor Tom Corbett.
We've had 189,000 or over 189,000 women go through the program.
Corbett brings a personal connection to this fight because a pregnant woman chose adoption over abortion. His daughter and son-in-law adopted that woman's little boy.
When Liam comes to see us, he gets up on my knee, especially when it's nap time. I start rubbing his back. He goes to sleep against me. I thank God every day that young woman who decided to keep the baby and not have the baby aborted did so, because I've got this precious little fella.
The Real Alternatives program also came to the rescue of Pennsylvania mom Jamie Fair. This unemployed mother became pregnant with her 4th child just as her husband left her. Her future looked bleak, and even doctors recommended she abort.
I did have a medical issue that they felt that it wouldn't be conducive to my life if I would go ahead with the pregnancy.
Short of money, Jamie came to Tri-City Life Center looking for a free crib, but ended up getting much more. Counselors there became the encouragers and family Jamie and her children needed.
I couldn't afford diapers, I couldn't afford food. They would get toys, they would get clothes, they would get things that they needed. But most importantly, they would get the support and the love that they needed.
Vera Morelli directs Tri-City Life.
When a mother decides to carry a child, we're there every day, not only through her pregnancy, but we're there for the first 5 years of that child.
They love these women as if they were their own daughter.
Real Alternatives President Kevin Bagata says most abortions happen because women feel forced into them due to a lack of support.
There were surveys done of women who had had an abortion, and they had said if one person had helped them during the crisis pregnancy, they wouldn't have had the abortion.
After they get help from a pro-life center, 87% of women say they won't abort even if they're pressured to by boyfriends, parents, or others. That's because now the woman feels she has someone on her side.
And therefore, she's free to make the decision she wants to make and can live with the rest of her life.
24-year-old Jessica Sheldon is part of a generation where every 3rd person has been killed by abortion.
It is kind of scary just to think of all the people that could have been here but are not.
Jessica shares advice for pregnant young women wavering about giving their child life.
It's probably going to be really scary and you're probably going to be in shock for a while, but I mean, if you pull through with it, it's the best thing ever.
Jessica doesn't say this because she was ever pregnant. It's because her mother is Noreen, who 25 years ago sought help from a pro-life center, then fought her family and boyfriend to keep her baby.
Some states say they're pro-choice because they back the abortion industry. It's different here in Pennsylvania. They say they're pro-choice because they're offering women real alternatives. Paul Strand, CBN News, reporting from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
When you're driving along and your cell phone rings, do your eyes instantly go off the road? Then you need to get a grip. Hi, David Jones here with the new GripGo, the most versatile hands-free mount that will instantly grip any phone for safe driving. Just attach the suction cup to your windshield or dash, and GripGo grabs your phone ultra fast. Then it peels right off. And don't worry, there's no sticky residue left behind. The 360-degree pivoting mount allows you to always get the perfect viewing angle. It's even strong enough to grab and hold this expensive smartphone out the window. Yet it comes right off with ease. That's the advantage of GripGo. You can get the amazing GripGo with dashboard mount for only $14.95. We'll send you a second kit free. Just pay separate processing and handling. Get 2 complete GripGo systems for just $14.95.
To order GripGo for $14.95 plus processing and handling, call 1-800-709-5259 or order online at getgripgo.com.
Jim is 38, mortgage, married, 3 great kids. He wants to protect his family with a $500,000 term life insurance policy. What do you think it'll cost him? $100 a month? $60? 40? Actually, none of the above. Jim can get a $500,000 policy from a highly rated insurer for under $19 a month. His secret? SelectQuote. SelectQuote is impartial. They'll comparison shop the pick of insurance companies like these to give you a choice of your best prices. SelectQuote has great savings on term life for women, too. Jim's wife, Deidre, can get a $500,000 policy for under $16 a month. SelectQuote has helped make term life insurance affordable for hundreds of thousands of people since 1985. How about you? Just call this number or go to SelectQuote.com. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
And finally this hour, St. Augustine said enthusiasm is in one man ignites the same fire in another. Recently, we caught up with one young Christian who decided to put that to the test by making a cross-country journey to inspire other Christians to live their faith to the fullest. It's been a long walk for Dan Reinke.
99 days, about 2,510 miles, and about 5 million and maybe 300,000 footsteps.
In May, he stood on an Oregon beach at the Pacific Ocean. Then he turned east with a mission to accomplish more than just a cross-country hike.
The best word would be to call it a pilgrimage, and it's also a personal journey in striving to grow closer to God.
Dan grew up Catholic, but fell away from the church. That slide ended about 2 years ago. And he says his return has brought more happiness than he ever imagined. Now he hopes to spread that feeling by encouraging other Christians to fearlessly live out their faith.
When you hear a lot of negative on the news, and sometimes it can kind of be depressing. And I think people are looking for something that'll inspire, and God's allowed this trip to do that.
Dan's not a preacher. He lets his sign do the talking. It proved to be enough to pique the curiosity of a number of people along his 3-month journey.
I saw the whole backpack and all the thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? I think it's incredible. I think that's what we need. That's what our country is lacking.
What?
The Lord.
Though it's been lonely, Dan's felt the touch of kindness from strangers, free meals, free beds, a cup of coffee, or an encouraging word.
There's a lot of good people out there, is what I've come to find, and a lot of people that took care of me along the way, and lots of different ways, whether conversation or coffee or breakfast or a small donation or big donation.
His long road ended at the Virginia Beach Boardwalk. Diving into the ocean, feeling the cool water rinse off the dirt and sweat. It seems like a baptism. For having completed his mission, he now begins life anew.
All done!
And we are indeed inspired. That's going to do it now for this edition of CBN News Today. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com. And take the time to tell us what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can do that on Facebook or at CBN News on Twitter. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Have a wonderful Thursday.
If you had a choice between going bald and a full head of hair, which would you choose? Advances in medical science have resulted in the world's first and only permanent solution to hair loss.
Yes!
You wash it, you cut it. It's your own real, naturally growing hair. When it comes to hair restoration, no one in the world has more experience than Bosley. The results look completely natural and are affordable on nearly any budget. But the entire process can't be explained in 60 brief seconds. So to find out more about this clinically proven and permanent solution to hair loss, call now to receive your free no-obligation information kit. It'll answer all of your questions about hair loss and hair restoration. Plus, we'll also send you this $250 gift certificate just for calling. Every day you wait, you're losing more hair. So don't put it off any longer. You owe it to yourself to find out the facts. Choose hair. Choose Bosley.
Call 800-868-9957. That's 800-868-9957.